I'm Peter Vermeulen. My father was a missionary and my grandfather was a farmer. From my mother's side and my father's side. My father's father was a coffee farmer and a grape farmer. So from very small I was introduced to coffee, and it was part of our daily ritual is making coffee. So my whole life I've been living with coffee, and it's been a great passion of mine. So it's a great privilege for me to be here. I've been involved with Nagaland Coffee since 2015, 2016, and I'm going to do some training in this time. And the main focus is what is the international level of coffee. So I brought my cupping spoon. So coffee is graded according to taste and flavor, what you smell, what you taste. So I'm going to start with international level coffee. I've brought some coffee from all the major coffee producing countries, 17 different coffee producing countries. We're going to taste that, and then I'm going to do sensory skills. Sensory skills is the different smells you have, and then we're going to look at the defects in coffee, what is bad coffee, what is good coffee, and then from that we're going to take it back all the way to the farm level. So how do you produce world-class coffee? So on this training I'll do international standard of training using Specialty Coffee Association standards, and then also the Coffee Quality Institute. So I'm going to combine my life of training, of my life of coffee for the last 15 to 20 years, and I'm going to try to condense it in 4 days to train the farmers what is expected outside Nagaland on a level of coffee that needs to be developed and need to be produced. So we're going to do a lot of intensive training, a lot of practical thing, a lot of cupping, different coffee defects, growing defects, things that can go wrong on the tree, soil conditions, everything from planting the seed, growing the seed, post-harvesting, how to ferment the coffee, how to cup the coffee, how to roast the coffee. So everything concerning coffee we're going to do in these 4 days. The first coffee trees that I was introduced was coffee farms that was very old in Mokochong district. So the trees is very old, they don't produce very good coffee anymore. And then we started bringing in new coffee with the coffee board, and we brought some very amazing coffee from other countries. I brought some seeds from Kenya and some from Nepal. So the main thing is what variety is grown. So by now we've grown the right variety of coffee at the right altitude. So there was great improvement in the farming techniques. And I've seen before COVID I was very hands-on with what happened in Nagaland. 2020, 2021 of course I couldn't travel. I only came back 2021 October, and then we visited. We see a lot of improvement, a lot of new coffee being planted. So the big challenge that lies ahead is to develop from what Nagaland has to world-class coffee. So for good coffee you need good climatic conditions, you need good soil, and you need good farming techniques. Nagaland have good soil, some of the best climatic conditions in the world. Nagaland is one of the very few places in Asia where you still have virgin soil. So everything that needs to grow world-class coffee is already here. The big challenge is post-harvesting processes, because the quality of coffee is growing all around the world. Countries like Rwanda, Kenya, Burundi, that came out of nowhere, is now producing world-class coffee. So the big challenge for Nagaland is to produce world-class coffee. One of the very important things is how do you price coffee? So coffee is controlled worldwide by a standard. It is on the exchange rate. So to understand what is the price of coffee and how it is determined, you need to understand how the coffee tastes. So coffee is graded on a scale from 1 to 100. So according to the flavor, according to the aroma, according to the acidity, the body and the sweetness. Those four, and then cleanness and all those kind of things needs to be understood. So what is the difference between a coffee that gets priced $5 a kilo or coffee that gets $15 a kilo? What is the difference, and why is there a difference? So the farmers need to understand that in order to produce that. So I'll be teaching them why certain coffees is a certain price and what is the standard for coffee. So from that I will train them, if your coffee scores 75 and not 80, what is the difference? Is it agricultural? Is it a disease? Is it post-harvesting defects? So that they understand why there's a difference in price, so that they can produce better coffee. So for the effort they sit in for digging the pits, raising the coffee plant, get up to production, small little things needs to happen in order to move your coffee from 75 to 85. So if they understand the different price levels, they can work it back to the farm. So that is the main reason. I will teach them sensory skills. Sensory skills has to do with your nose and with your tongue. So coffee that got unique taste is rated higher. So they need to understand why certain coffees aromatics is higher and how you can enhance your aromatics flavors in your coffee on a farm level by either giving fermentation, fertilizer, giving more shade, when to pluck the cherries, what is the ripeness that is required so that you can enhance the sweetness of the coffee. So all those techniques I'll be training the people. And then the last day we will look at the business plan. How do you plan and what is the total cost of producing coffee? The real cost and which product is the best and most profitable. Is it ripe cherries? Is it dried cherries? Is it parchment? And the whole value chain, and what is the cost involved in each chain, so that the farmers can understand which level of product they must sell to the buyer, so that the buyers that will come, which will be mostly people from our company, why we will pay certain things, and so that the farmers can understand how they can get better value for the coffee they produce.